Hello everyone, my name is Vipul Chen, and in this video I'm going to show you a new object which has been introduced in Power Apps, which is called the host object. The host object in Power Apps, it basically provides the information about the current host running the app. So when I say the current host running the app, it is kind of a app object. It is available in the app object, just like we have the app object in Power Apps. Inside it, you will find the host object as well. So this host object will give you the current browser, user browser information, tenant ID, session ID. All these objects are available with the host object. So this is the official documentation of the host object in Power Apps, which has been introduced by Microsoft. So the host object is currently only available in custom pages and in Canvas app. This is very important to note. Now, I will show you in the Power Apps Studio that where you can find the host object and how you can use it. So in the app object on my screen, you can see you will find the host object here. So you just select this host object. Now, one important thing which I found about the host object is there is no property available for this host object, and you cannot write anything on the formula bar here also in the Power Apps Studio, because you can't change this property for the host object. So there are no properties available and you cannot write any formula for the host object. So how to use this host object? Maybe what we can do is I have just created a screen, and on this screen I'm going to just add a label. So in this label, what we can do is that we can definitely add the properties related to the host object. So simply what you have to do is you have to write like host. You can search for host and host dot. Now different properties which are available for the host object is browser user agent, OS type, session ID, and the tenant ID. So all these four properties we are going to see today now. Browser user agent. So if you add the browser user agent property, now it is going to show you the current user browser agent property. All right, proper or browser user agent value precisely. So you can see here for in my case it is showing me Mozilla 5.0, Windows NT, and so on. Similarly, what I can do is I can add one more label and I can change just the property for this host object. Instead of now browser user agent, what I can use is OS type. Now, what is the OS type which currently I am using? All right. So just give here dot host dot OS type. So what it will give you the value of the current operating system which I'm using. Currently, I'm using the Windows machine or Windows laptop. That's why it should show me the Windows. Now, this is the second property which we saw. Third property of the host object is host dot. So we saw the first property which was browser user agent. The second property was the OS type. Now the third property is session ID. It will give you the current logged in user session ID, and this might be helpful in the troubleshooting or maybe kind of a scenario where your users want to report a bug in your app or in your application. So this particular session ID string, tenant ID, OS type, browser user agent, all these properties I will say are useful during troubleshooting or debugging the app. So let's say there might be an issue in your app and user has reported it. So how you will troubleshoot it or how you will debug it. So this is one of the use case of this host object which I found very useful. And the last property which you can use is host dot. Definitely there is one more property which is called tenant ID. So tenant ID is that current tenant which currently the current logged in user is logged in. So it will give the tenant ID of that particular tenant. So basically these are the four properties for now you can use for the host object. These are primarily useful, I will say, during the troubleshooting any issue or debugging any issue within your Power Apps. So the four properties are the browser user agent, OS type, host.session ID, and host.tenant ID. Thank you.